hope you're all doing okay. Today I thought I'd make a video talking about my future cleft treatment. Before I start, yes, I'm sort of losing my voice. I have a bit of a cold right now, but hopefully it will last until the end of this video and I'll be able to talk to you. So if you don't already know, then I have a cleft lip and palate. I have a full playlist of my cleft related videos, which I'll link in the description in case you want to have a look. But today I thought I'd tell you about what the future looks like for me with my cleft treatment. I probably mentioned this before, but clefts are usually treated throughout childhood. So that is when all the surgeries happen and all the orthodontic work. And I'm 17 now, so I'm actually nearing the end of my cleft treatment, which is quite exciting to finally be able to see the light at the end of the tunnel after all these surgeries and all these years of orthodontic work, speech therapy, hearing tests, everything like that. So yeah, it is quite exciting, but it's also quite nerve-wracking, and I thought I would kind of talk to you today and tell you what's happening basically. I had a 17-year cleft review a few months ago, and my surgeon was asking me just the general questions that you do when you have these cleft reviews every few years. And I was telling her that the only really concern I have at the minute is the fact that I can find it quite hard to breathe sometimes through my nose. I've made a video about this before, but basically when you have a cleft, like the inside of your nose can be quite close and quite narrow. So I find it difficult when I'm doing things like eating. I have to eat with my mouth open. It's quite gross because I can't really breathe. I have my mouth open when I sleep, which causes a lot of sore throats, which is bad at times like this when I have a cold, because then I tend to get like quite bad sore throats. But yeah, so I kind of just told my surgeon that that is the only really concern that I have at the minute. And she mentioned a surgery which a lot of people tend to have as one of like their final surgeries when they have a cleft, and that is a rhinoplasty. Now, people do have this when they don't have clefts as well. I'm sure it's a term you've heard of before, and a lot of the time it is for cosmetic reasons, but also it can help you with your breathing if the inside of your nose is quite narrow. You have to be quite careful if you're doing it on someone with a cleft, because obviously it's quite delicate in there from past surgeries and things like that. But it is an opportunity for people with clefts to kind of be able to breathe and also sort any cosmetic things out if they would like to. So that's actually what my surgeon said. She said, if you want to go through with this surgery to help you breathe, would you like to consider any cosmetic changes as well? So I hadn't really thought about it too much before, so I said that I kind of wanted a bit of time to think about it. So after that cleft review, she said she would schedule a 20-year-old cleft review, but in the meantime, if I have had a think about it and do decide that I would like the surgery done, then just to contact her. So that was when I started to think about it quite a lot. I had been aware of it before, that, you know, this was something that could happen in the future, but I'd never actively thought about it or tried to make a decision what I wanted to do. I knew that I wanted help breathing because it was just getting on my nerves. I wanted to be able to breathe like a normal person, but I wasn't really sure if I wanted to change my nose cosmetically. So I thought about it for such a long time, and I did have quite a few emotional conversations with people, and I realised that it was a really big decision, and for a 17-year-old to make a decision like this, it's quite difficult, and I knew I needed help basically. So I spoke to all my friends and family, and I was even lucky enough to speak to someone who had already gone through this operation, and I got to ask them questions about what their thought processes were and what the operation was actually like, and that was really, really useful. So I still was finding it difficult to decide if I would want to change cosmetically, and if so, how much, what sort of things I would want to change, because some days I would look in the mirror and think, oh yeah, I don't like this or I don't like that, I would change this, I wouldn't change that. But then other days I would just think, this is me, why would I want to change it? You know, I've learnt to love this, so do I want to change it, you know? But then there was this one time when I kind of had a moment of realisation, I guess. And you know, I've been involved now with charities like Clapper and Changing Faces for a long time, and I have been meeting other people like me with clefts or other visible differences, and I've actually started to feel like part of such an amazing community. And one day I was just thinking about that, you know, loving the fact that I was part of this community and that I loved being different and everything. And then I thought to myself, well, if this is the case, then I don't think I want to change the way I look. I know sometimes there are things that I feel insecure about, but everyone has insecurities, and it's not just my cleft on my face that I feel insecure about, you know. I feel insecure about things that many girls probably feel insecure about, you know, spots on your face and things like that. So it kind of occurred to me that maybe I didn't really want to change it. Maybe the things that I don't really like about myself, one day I will learn to love them, like I have learned to love many other things about myself. You know, I have looked different my whole life, and gradually I've started to accept it and learn to love it. And I think being part of this amazing community is definitely something that I would never want to give up. And I know that if I did have this surgery, I would still look different to everyone else. You know, it's never going to make me look perfect, not that perfect is a thing. And I would still have my hand and my foot, and I would still look different in other ways. So then I thought, well, what is the point in just changing one little thing when, I don't know, it's a really hard thought process to describe to you, but I just honestly thought that I love being different and I love being part of this community, so I don't really think I want to change it, and it's okay to be insecure about things, and maybe one day I will learn to love these things. And it's just a process, and I wouldn't want to go and have a surgery and then regret it. So I kind of made this decision, which in the end I was very, very happy with. I did, and I do still sometimes think to myself, am I 100% sure? But then, yeah, I think I am. I just need to have faith in the decision. So the decision is that I want to breathe, but I don't want to change how I look cosmetically because I am happy with it. It is me. So I decided to make an appointment with my cleft surgeon again to see her and tell her this decision, because I would ideally like to have the surgery to help me breathe as soon as I can. So I made an appointment with her that I actually went to a couple of weeks ago now, and we discussed everything that I just told you. And so she got the ENT surgeon to have a look at my nose, basically. ENT stands for ear, nose and throat, by the way, if you're not aware. So she got that surgeon to look at my nose and see what the options were, basically. She pressed down on both nostrils and to see how much I could breathe out of either side. This one I can barely breathe at all out of it, and this one I can breathe like a little bit. So she was like, yeah, I think there's definitely something we could do to improve that. And she said something about my septum as well. I don't remember what she said about that, but there's something wrong with my septum as well. So then my cleft surgeon was like, right, okay, and you're definitely sure you don't want to change anything cosmetically? And I'm like, no, yeah, I'm pretty happy with how I look. So ideally I don't want to change that. And she said, right, well, I am technically like a plastic surgeon. I do tend to deal with the cosmetic side, whereas you're kind of wanting help with the function of your nose. So she said that ideally she needs to refer me to an ENT specialist at a different hospital. So if you don't know, I go to Great Ormond Street Hospital in London for my cleft care, and that is a children's hospital. And I have always been told that because of my cleft, I can be under their care until I'm about like 20. But my surgeon was saying that because of the nature of this operation, it's not something they usually do at the children's hospital, so the specialised staff won't be there. So she would like to refer me to an adult hospital, basically. An ENT surgeon there will take a look at me because they will be specialised in sort of helping my nose to function. Obviously, straight away, this was something that I was really, really nervous about. I kind of wasn't really expecting to have to go there, especially because I'm 17 and I was told that I could be under the care of Great Ormond Street until I was 20. So I was a bit nervous, but she said that she would happily go and do the operation with the ENT surgeon at that hospital, because obviously it would be good if someone specialised in clefts was there, because Cleft rhinoplasties are slightly different to just an average rhinoplasty because there is lots of like scar tissue up my nose because of previous operations, and the structure of my nose is different to others. So that did make me feel a little bit more reassured that she would be there to kind of help them, and she would also try and make sure that my nose didn't change too much cosmetically. That is one of the things I asked about actually. I said, if I were to have this operation then to help me breathe, would it actually change the way I look? Because I think it would be difficult not to if they're operating on my nose. And she said, yeah, it is likely to change the way you look, you know, they can't really do it without. But if you're sure that you don't want any cosmetic changes, then she said she would be happy to try and help them make it as similar to now as possible without changing it too much. It's a little nerve-wracking, and I still don't really have that many answers. There's still so many questions that I have, but right now I'm kind of just waiting for that referral and waiting to have the appointment with the ENT specialist to see what they think my options are with my nose, to see if they think they can help me. It would just make a huge difference, I think, if I could breathe normally. So it is something to look forward to if I can get this surgery, but it is also a little bit scary. I hate going into the unknown, but sometimes you just have to, and hopefully there will be a good outcome. But yes, for now, waiting for the referral, and as soon as I know any more, I will let you guys know. I want to keep you updated and take you with me along this journey to the end of my cleft treatment. This, if it goes ahead, would be my 10th surgery, so it's a nice number to end on. Obviously no one can predict the future, so I don't know what is going to happen, but it would be nice for this to be the end of my cleft treatment. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask. Put them in the comments below and I will get back to you. And yeah, I'm gonna hopefully post more about this in the future to update you on what's happening and take you along on these final stages of my cleft journey. Stay tuned for updates about this cleft journey, and I will see you all very soon. Thank you so much. Bye!